Well, hello and welcome back to the Rusty Ferret Podcast. I'm LG and I am the owner and a dyer of Rusty Ferret Yarns, and I just want to say thank you for joining me again. I apologise for not having been back sooner. However, I did end up with COVID, which was really rubbish. Never have your mother-in-laws round. Just don't bother. So I was really out of it. When folks say it was just like the cold, no, I was very, very ill. I'm also in my finest of attire right now because it's really cold, and I've been out in the garden all day helping my mum. Well, my mum's been helping me relay slabs so that I can put my greenhouse on it. I'm getting a greenhouse, it's all exciting. Flat. It's a thing. The front garden's kind of a little bit sloped, so we're having to jiggle slabs. And also I just had a shower and I couldn't face putting on proper clothes, so I am in my pajamas under here and my hoodie, which was my Christmas present from Mark, and it's the most amazing thing I've ever owned. If you are swithering about it, don't, just do it. I have lived in this since Christmas, and it probably has a sentient life form to itself because it needs a wash, but I don't care because it's been cold. I've never been so cold in my life. Anyway, you don't just admire my Minecraft hoodie and we'll move on from it. I'm also wearing my Lapsang hat, which is a design from Clare Devine, who is the most beautiful human I've ever met. And the yarn is Ginger Twist. I believe it's Hocus Pocus is the colourway in flumps. Flat flumps. I can't remember, but Ginger Twist is great. I love it. This is hiding my wet hair so that we can all pretend that I am a normal human being. Yeah. I'm really hoping you can't see the cold air coming off my breath right now. Keep crossed. I will also say I have new spectacles on. I only got them yesterday. I think they're sitting a bit squint, so I need to go back and get them straightened. So far I'm loving them. They're much bigger than what I'm used to, but they're cool because purple and I look cool. That's all I strive for in life, is to look cool. I'm in the conservatory and I have all the blinds open, well, at the front. And my neighbours are going to be wondering what the hell's going on because I have so many lights on in here. I hope I've got the lighting right this time. I did appreciate the feedback on the lighting. I'm also trying to be a bit more mellow. I've discovered with old podcasts that I speak really fast anyway. But I speak really fast to try and get all the information out at once, which leaves me out of breath because of my asthma. So I'm trying to be calm. So if I'm talking more slowly, it's because I'm making a conscious effort to talk slower. I've also written out kind of my notes so that I know what I'm doing, like a professional. Right, we're going to just go and jump right in. Something that I have been promising you guys for the longest time, and I've literally written in my notes, show the damn quilt. I have got the quilt. And I'm going to put in some nicer pictures than me just holding it here. But the quilt is done. And I am so happy. It has been stuffed away in a cupboard waiting for me to show you guys because I didn't want it getting all ruined. But yeah, so do I need to go through the long story of this quilt? TLDR, I had this fabric that I pre-cut, decided to make a quilt like a million years ago. Eventually went and sat and did it last year, put it all together, didn't have enough, made more fabric by ice dyeing, so these ones and these ones, made it bigger, unpicked it all, made it bigger. It's still not the size I would have loved, but it's still big enough. Ice dyed some back, again I'll show a better picture. Ice dyed the backing cloth for it, and then I just did a simple running stitch around all the hexes So I don't think you can see that. And then I think it looks really good on the front. The mic's up there for a reason, and I've just smacked it, being the reason why it's up there. I really like sashiko stitching, which is just running stitch made into designs. I just like how simple it is. So I thought I would carry this onto the quilt. It means the quilt's like dead snuggly, like you can snuggle into it. The last quilt I did, I machine quilted it, and it was totally worth hand stitching this because it is much more less rigid. That's what I was meaning. The machine stitched one is so rigid, whereas this is nice and fluffy. Then I didn't make any bias binding. I had enough. The back of the quilt was big enough that I could just wrap it over. Sorry, I'm looking at my screen to make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. And then I hand tacked it down, like folded it under, and then hand stitched it down. So overall, I'm very pleased, and I'm really pleased that it's finished. And I don't think I'll make a quilt for a long time. And if I do decide to make a quilt, you guys have my permission to smack me up the face. Just give me a slap. And just tell me no. Remember the pain from last time. Oh, I'm just noticing it's been so long since this has been finished. I had a couple holes in the material where I was unpicking it and had sliced it. So I put some like little star darning marks. Just to be like, well, they're not all stars. Can you see the running stitch there? Just to cover up the holes so that they look like a design feature, but actually they're also like a safety feature. Car alarm. I don't think the microphone's picking that up, so that's okay. So yeah, glad this is finished. Glad to get to use it, and yeah, I'm pleased with it. I like the colours. I like, I love the hand stitching. Would do the hand stitching again. I would try and be better with my math, so I wasn't having to pick it and unpick it. But yeah, I'm glad it's done. And I've now showed you guys. So now we can never talk about it again. We don't have to ever talk about it again. So next finished thing, well, it was finished in the last podcast I spoke about, but I have actually blocked it. And it is the Birds and Ships cowl by Caitlin Hunter in the colourway Kids Rainbow by Rusty Ferret yarn. That is me. And it is my doll base, the 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And this, the story about this was my friend Hannah, who was the dog groomer up from the shop. We became good friends, and her two kids instructed me on how to dye this. And I've been meaning to knit this for forever, and I finally did it. I can't think with that car alarm. Anyway, in the last episode, I said that I thought this was too small. I did check the gauge, and it's my tension that's off. But to be honest, so I'm going to read this off my notebook. So my gauge was 27.5 stitches to 38 rows for a 10 by 10 inch gauge square, and the pattern says 20 stitches by 29 rows. So it's going to be smaller, but see, this is where my issue is. I'm a very loose knitter, and I think this fabric looks fine. Like, I feel that if I was to go for gauge, it would be really open. So I don't know. Hannah is a small person, so that's going for me. I'm kind of getting all jumbled up with my story because that car alarm was doing my head in. I blocked it, and it's still small. Was the thing of the thing. The other problem I had with the blocking, and I'll put a video in, is it's meant to be square and comes to a point. But when I was pulling this to a point, it was like pulling this in diagonally. Obviously you can't really see that on the pattern picture, so I'm not sure if that's how it was meant to be. But it's not. I'm just really disappointed with the pattern, and I think it's my doing because of my gauge. I think I've ruined it for myself. But I just, as I said, I think if I was to go up in quite a few needle sizes, I think it would just be too holey. Like, I don't think it would be a nice fabric. So I'm not going to rip it out and knit something different. I am going to weave these ends in. This has been discarded on the radiator in the living room, in the hall, because I've just been like, well, this is shit. Stay there. I'm not going to think about you. No, we need to think about it. I'm going to weave in the ends, and I'm going to post this off to Hannah, and she will love it. And do you know what? I don't even know if it fits me. Let's see. Right, excuse my hair. I'm going to take my new glasses off. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, do we maybe need to? It's really tight. But then she's got a small neck. I mean, for like dog walking, do you know what? It's kind of like a buff, right? It's not like a loose. What do we think? Do I need to? I really don't want to be remaking this. I don't want to use... Oh. What do you think? I'm open to opinions. I think it will be fine. She is a small human. She is a really tiny human. So I think it would fit her okay. I mean, there's enough. I can do that. I think I'm going to just post it to her and be like, enjoy. If not, one of the kids can wear it. There we go. One of the kids can wear it and it'll be fine. And I've got like 47 grams. I only use 47 grams, so I have like 53 grams left. I'm not putting the tassel on. It's too tight for the tassel. I love a tassel. I love a fringe. This is too tight. So yeah, we're going to finish this off. We're going to post it away. We're going to just be done with it. Move on. Thank you very much. Please. Can I put the hat back? Do I need the hat? I think I need the hat. See, normally when I would come out the shower, I'd wear my hair like this. And I just feel that this is not acceptable for the internet. This is how I would be for the rest of the day. It's a look. I'm not going to subject you to that. I feel like I should explain the two pillowcases here. This is alpaca fleece. I'm not going to really speak about too much, but I feel like I really want to show you since it's there. I'm going to show you. I look like a thumb. This is the only hat. What am I doing? I forgot to put a hat on. This is the only hat I feel doesn't make me look too much of a moon face. I don't suit hats. Do we want to discuss the alpaca now or later? Let me get through the finished objects first and then we'll jump to the alpaca. How does that sound? I think that sounds good. I hope I was speaking loud enough for my microphone. Okay, so the next finished object, that's a drum roll, is my crochet t-shirt this way. Again, I'll put some nice pictures in. I finished it. This was my COVID project because it was all I could muster. And I've also realised I haven't sewn in the ends here. So again, the story of the yarn. My neighbour across the road, she did mad crochet over the lockdown. And she's kind of gotten a bit fed up of it. So she gave me, you'll have seen it in the previous episode, a cake of yarn, which is from Cotton Kings. It's a hobby, HOBBI brand of yarn. Cotton Kings in twirls. I'm looking at my notes just to make sure. Yeah, Cotton King's Twirls. It was a big 200-gram cake. And she's like, can you use this? And I'm like, duh, yeah. And I took it going, I don't know what to make with this. And she's like, I've got more if you need more. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I had it sitting, percolating on the side forever. And then I was like, this needs to be a granny square top. I'm seeing granny squares everywhere on the Pinterest. And I'm like, this is really cool. I want to be like that. I want to be cool. So I just got a really straightforward granny square pattern. And it starts in the centre. And just works out. And the yarn does all the work with the colour change. I'd love to say that I had the foresight to split the yarn cake in half. But I didn't. I just kind of wung it until I felt like it was halfway through. Then I started weighing it. And then I did the other side. So it's just two granny squares, two big granny squares. And when they were finished, I have crocheted them together at the seam. Well, the shoulder seam and the side seam. I've left I didn't even have enough yarn left to do the seaming. I used some yellow I had. I've also left a wee split at the bottom just to give me a little bit extra room. But yeah, it's finished and I'm dead chuffed with it. My only gripe is I would have made it bigger if I'd had more yarn. It's a bit on the nippet side. As in, it's fine. And everybody else would be like, it's fine. But I like my clothes to be slightly bigger. Not as big as my hoodie, but just a bit more wiggle room. I don't like being in tight clothes. So yeah, I'd make it, if I was to make another one, I'd make it bigger. Maybe by 2 or 3 rows. I didn't want to go back to my neighbour and go, hey, see that free yarn you gave me? Can I have another one, please? And then I couldn't broach the subject like, hey, can I buy one of those off you? And they don't make them anymore. So I'm like, I'll just do what I've got. Worst comes to worst, I never wear it. I rip it out and use it for something else. But I think in the summer I will wear it. It's just too damn cold right now. But yeah, so finished. Looking cool. Looking cool. I think I look too white. Do I look translucent? Probably. It's because it's freaking cold. This is why Scottish people die in hot temperatures. Because this is the natural shade of our skin. Like, it's not normal. It's not normal. Okay, let's discuss the alpaca very quickly. Oh, Jesus, it's heavy. In this pillowcase is alpaca fleece. If I smack this, it'll be dusty. Look. Did you see that? So, let me show you. I should add that I have 8 of these. 8 pillowcases worth of alpaca fleece. So let's get this open. Oh, it's so hairy. Can you see? It's so freaking soft. It's so very dusty. So, speaking about the mother-in-law that came up to visit, her husband, so my stepfather-in-law, weird, he has a friend that has alpacas, and he was giving away the fleeces because, as a lot of farmers do, they have no idea what to do with it. It costs too much to get it spun, and they keep the alpacas for guard animals or for pets or reasons. So it's like, yeah, I'll check. LJ might want some. LJ's like, yeah, I totally would love an alpaca fleece. Cool. Get a message from my mother-in-law. We've got you some alpaca fleece. We've got 4 bags. I'm like, 4 bags? Okay, that's a lot. What size of bags? Tesco bags? That could be a normal. They turn up. No, it's black bin bags. Black bin bags worth. So I have a lot of alpaca fleece. I took them out of the black bin bags and put them in pillowcases because I was worried that in the bin bags that they would sweat and get mouldy, and because we don't have heating in the house, things have been getting really condensation. So yeah, I moved them in pillowcases. I realised how dusty they were. Gross. And how much there was. But it is glorious and I'm excited to do something with it. But at the minute I don't know what the something is. So we'll discuss that at a later date. But there's lots of this colour. But then all of a sudden you get like this caramel colour. It's just glorious. So I'm just gonna bandage this back up. I'm just gonna tie this back up because I'm gonna be sneezing with all the stew. So these are going in the loft, out of the way, because they were all in the windowsill, and that's not good because then they will sweat and get mouldy. But I have to take the big ladder upstairs to get in the loft and then move the arcade cabinet, and it's just the whole thing. So these are just chilling here just now. But yeah, okay, so that's the alpaca fleeces. I'm very grateful for the alpaca fleeces. I should say that. It's just a lot of alpaca fleece. But everybody's been gonna be... If I can spin with that... I mean, if I can't spin with it on its own, I can... I have other fleeces that I can blend it with, so it'll be a combo yarn. If I can spin all that, I think we'll all have alpaca jumpers for Christmas. Not Christmas, but, you know, the Christmas of when I get it finished, let's say. Christmas 2025, we'll all have jumpers and it's gonna be great. I have been told that alpaca fleece is really hard to spin. We're just gonna ignore it and just go with it. Okay, so. Well, hello, Ed and Elsie here. Oh, Oscar's here too. Say hi, Os. You heard me saying hello. We're speaking to the podcast people. Go back to sleep. He has a sore leg. He's torn his cruciating ligament in his knee, and he's gonna need surgery. Aren't you, old puppy? Look at that face. Anyway, sorry. I am a disaster. Whilst recording the podcast, I managed to knock a cable, which means that there's like constant white noise in the background of the last part of the video where I'm showing you my Havana jumper. I'm just gonna cut it out and you'll see it next time. I hope that's okay. I don't have it with me. It's in the living room, and as you can see, I am tucked under blankets and dogs. And my hoodie again. At least the outfit's consistent. I'm sorry about that. I don't podcast tired, guys. That's my answer to everything. Okay, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna let past LJ round up the podcast, and I'll see you next time. Bye. But yeah, so that was like a change of tempo. But yeah, so yeah, that is what I've been up to. Thank you so much for... If you're... What is that? All I've got is what Wheels Needles Hand says. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. If you're a new viewer, consider clicking that subscribe button. No, seriously. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for putting up with my OD, although I know you are all secretly very jealous. As I said, if you're considering it, do it. I would also say I am a size... What would my body size be? I'm definitely a size 28 on the bottom. UK female 28. And there's still loads of room. I was worried that it wouldn't fit me, but they're massive. So, yeah. And I have creepers. But yeah, I am gonna go because I am like at my limit of tiredness. I will speak to you later. I hope you're all behaving, and thank you. I'm waving. Was it Mr. Chips? He's waving. next time I will film this during the day.